Hello friends, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge and welcome to a recommendation video. And today the theme is underrated Kindle Unlimited authors. If for some reason you don't know what Kindle Unlimited or KU means, it is a program that Amazon has where you can have up to 20 books checked out and you can unlimitedly check them out. There's no limit. You can just keep reading as much as you want, return as much as you want. And authors who are enrolled in this get paid by the page that you read. That's how they get paid. Some people think it's a great service for authors. Some people think that it takes advantage of authors. It really just depends on your perspective or what, like level of author you are, how much you're getting read. But it's been a service I've been using for, close to a decade. I'm not sure when it started, but I started using it pretty soon after that, And it's been amazing to me. It's helped me read as much as I want. And especially if you're a romance reader, you can really pack away some books. So today I'm going to be sharing authors that I think are underrated. I may talk about them a lot, but I might be the only person talking about them a lot, or I just haven't seen them talked about as much as I think they deserve. So this is going to be kind of a quick recommendation because I'm not going to go in depth about all the books that each author has. I'm just going to, I own quite a few of these, so I'll hold up the ones that I own, but otherwise I'll just maybe mention kind of the types of books that they do and my favorites by them. Okay, does that sound good? All right, let's get started. So we're just going in the order that I wrote them down. So the first author I want to recommend is a historical romance author. They have some titles that are not KU, but a specific one of their pen names. They have two pen names. One of their pen names is KU, you can check them out through there. And that is SM LaViolette, also known as Minerva Spencer. Some series that I really love by her are The Seducers. The first one is Melissa and the Vicar. This has a virgin hero, an older heroine, but the hero falls for her and does not want to let her go. Then there is Joss and the Countess. This one is a bodyguard romance. This one also has an older woman, and he actually used to be a prostitute, and now he's like a bodyguard or a servant, and he watches out for her. And there's a third one in this that's called Hugo and the Maiden, and he was also a prostitute, and he gets lost and hurt and kind of forgets who he is for a while. So it's very interesting. And then another series that she's just starting is the Bellamy Sisters. This is one that I read just a couple months ago, and it's absolutely wonderful. This is an age gap. The heroine is, I think, only 18, and the hero is, I think, in his 30s, and she gets hoodwinked into marrying him because he pretends that he's going to marry her, one of her sisters, if she won't marry him instead. So some other series of hers that are on KU are the Academy of Love, as well as the Masqueraders, and the Victorian Decadence series, which is currently coming out. So those are some that are all on KU that you can borrow right now, which is great. Next, this is an author I have been loving for quite a while now, and that is Claire Kent. This is her series, The Escorted books. I don't know if the series is called Escorted, but there's this one. This one's all the way back from 2012 by Claire Kent, and this was about our hero who is a sex worker, and the heroine hires him to take her virginity. So it's really beautiful. And then the books I really love, this is the Kindle series. This is kind of the book that starts it off, but this one is can be read as a standalone. This is Last Light. This is a post-apocalyptic series. This first book gave me Beth and Daryl vibes all the way. This girl, she ends up on her own after this apocalyptic event, and she is now traveling with Travis, who is the town mechanic, who is a little over, I think, 10 years older than her, and they end up needing to travel together for safety, and they fall in love, and it's great. Then the series that spins off of that is the Kindle series, which currently has 3 books, with one more coming for sure, although Claire said there may be more. So there's Haven, which is about novella length and starts it off. This one, the characters are the same age. it's Jackson and I don't remember the heroine's name because it's first person point of view, Faith. And they have this small town that there was a lot of like troubled youth living in, and the youth are really all that's left of it. So they're the two like oldest kids, and they're a little bit like a Peter Pan, it's like the Lost Boys, and they're trying to keep these kids safe and do that. And then Haven becomes kind of a central town that a lot of other characters interact with. Like, they interact with them, with the characters from this book. And then we have Princess, which is a girl who, her and her father actually get to stay in a bunker while everything's happening. And her, like, bodyguard, they end up having a thing over the years that we see. Anyway, so this is Princess. And then the most recent one that came out was Embers. And this is actually a dead boyfriend's dad type of thing. So they end up staying with the father, but the son is like dying as as everything is going down. Like, he gets sick from the stuff in the air. And so she's just left living with her dead boyfriend's dad. And feelings grow over time. So these are the ones in it so far. She also has a Prison Planet series that has a lot of like sex as a transactional thing, and oh my god, I love it so much. It's a lot of like sex for protection. So those are the ones by Claire Kent that are all on KU, and I love them. Then a absolute recent favorite who I adore we have Amara Ray. She currently it's right under my microphone. I'm sorry about that. She currently has 4 books out in the Immortal Coven. There are 2 more coming. You should read these in order. This one is a life witch, which means she has healing powers. I got these beautiful bookmarks from her. I absolutely like this one. What, in my opinion, is kind of like the weakest start, but this was still a 4-star read. It's very spicy. She has lots of trigger warnings for her books, so no mostly like kinky things in here. There is blood play, knife play, breath play. It's hot, it's sexy. Captor Captive, it's brilliant. All of these are Fated Mate, by the way. Then there's Hydrus. This is a Fae King, as well as Naya, who is the like head of the coven. And I freaking love this one. She's a water witch. She's part fae, part witch. And then we have Willow in Inferno, and Willow is part like, firepower, and then Toric is a berserker, and she needs her coven needs the help of the berserkers, but she has to like convince him by competing in this like gladiator type thing before she's even allowed to speak with him, which is cool. And then we have Zephyr, which was the most recent release, and this is a like shifter scenario. So our heroine is she's a hybrid with a pack, and then Alexander is an alpha, and he doesn't feel like he can be with his mate, so he rejects her. So this is a rejected mate scenario. And I think she has wind witch powers, and then she's part shifter too. So love that one. So those are all the books that Amara Ray has out right now. You can binge all of them in one go, and it's amazing. Then, of course, I have to share Naomi Lucas. I'm just at the tip of the iceberg with Naomi Lucas, honestly, because I haven't tried all of her other things yet. But yeah, Viper is book 1. I think this one's Varushka. Is this Varushka? Yeah, this is Varushka. And these women and men have like come to New Earth to see if Earth is inhabitable yet. And they find these Naga living there, and these Naga want to mate with the human women. They find them as their fated mates. So we have Varushka and we have Gemma, and it's banana. So then there's also King Cobra, and there is Blue Coral, and then Death Adder just came out. I just read it the other day. Loved it. She also has cyborg romances. She also has a lot of like space ones going on. I mean, these are technically alien. They're like monster alien things. So I've loved what I've read so far. I definitely need to read more of her. Won't even deny it. Love it. Then, and this is one I think more and more people are hearing about this author, but I still just want everyone to read them. So Cate C. Wells, all of her stuff is in KU. Run Posey Run was one of my favorite books last year. I absolutely loved it. Nikki the Driver just came out. She writes these very they're dark romance, but they're also so, the romances are so emotional and beautiful, right? I mean, at least in these two mafia books I love. I also really enjoy, she has a Shifter series. It's a Rejected Mate series. The third one of that comes out later this year. And then she also has a motorcycle series, and there's another series too that I've heard of as well. So love Cate C. Wells. Then Jamie Schlosser is someone who doesn't get brought up a lot. She's one that I don't own any of hers, but I do really appreciate what I've read of hers. Specifically, she has a Fae series. I've not read any of her contemporary. I'm pretty sure she has a contemporary series too. But there is the Fae King's Fated Mate, I think. All of the kings have a curse that they are blind until they find their fated mate. And the way that you claim your fated mate, though, is to have sex with them the first time. But if you have sex with the wrong person, they'll be blind forever. So it's very interesting. But I've really liked this series, and people who love fantasy romance, the romance in these series is so swoony, because some of these heroes wait a very long time to get their women. It's beautiful. Then I think someone who is criminally underrated is Tiffany Roberts. Now, y'all know that I love Tiffany Roberts. I just rejoined their Patreon and got me some spicy art here. This one's safe for work, but it's beautiful. I adore their stuff. Ensnared is some of my favorite. There's also Claimed by the Alien Warrior. This one, I have art that's too naughty to share, because I got it from the Renegade Romance book box. But this one is it's a captive one. I'm going to be reading more of their books in September. I'm going to read Taken by the Alien Next Door, I think. But I've read some of their, they have fantasy ones, they have the alien ones, monster ones. They have so much, and they're just criminally underloved. Tiffany and Robert are a husband and wife writing couple, and they actually write their books like they're playing live action role play. They each have a screen, and they literally write together the dialogue, the story. Isn't that amazing? So some of the swoony things that Catan is saying, Robert is writing them in response to his beautiful wife, and I just love that. I love them. I adore them. It's fantastic. I also have a couple of writers to recommend. Kiera Andrews, I have read a lot of her works by now. This is my favorite one. This is the one I hold up all the time. This one is a captive pirate romance with a young hero named Nathaniel, who's supposed to be on his way to an arranged marriage, and he gets captured by the pirate Hawk and is being held for ransom, and things escalate between the two of them. Kiera Andrews has oodles of romance in pretty much every genre. There is historical like that. There is fantasy. There is creature. There is contemporary. There's everything. Go check out Kiera Andrews if you love romance. They're great, and they're usually very sweet too. Even this captive, there's no dubious consent or non-consent. Well, you could consider it that since he's kept captive, but everything is asked for ahead of time, so it's great. Love it. Another author I want to recommend is Adrienne Wilder, and I read this when I was reading a lot of survival romances, because there's this one series that's about this kind of rich, fancy Hollywood type who is in a plane crash and gets rescued by this recluse who's been living in the Alaskan wilderness to hide away from the cartel that he did wrong by the cartel, and he becomes obsessed with this man that he rescues, and he doesn't want to let him go, so it's a little bit of that. But it's also it is danger. The hero, the one who had crashed, he broke his leg and he's very injured. So, but love sparks between these two, and I loved it. And there's some others too. Adrienne Wilder also has a duet about this couple where one of the heroes has Asperger's pretty badly. And he's also considered a little bit of a freak in town because he can't communicate well. But this hero, the one hero, like goes to this small town to just like chill out and like get away from his life for a while. And then he meets him and they fall. And I really loved this couple as well. So Adrienne Wilder, definitely a good one. And then the last author I want to mention, if you love monster romance, is Lillian Lark. She's had her books in KU. There is a Why Choose romance that is the Deceived by the Gargoyles. There is a MMF that is a wolf, witch, and like a vampire or something, I don't know, but I've loved what I've read of hers. I really want to read her lake monster one, so I've really enjoyed Lillian Lark so far too. So all right, there you go. There's my quick rundown of 10 authors I think are underrated on KU. I hope you find some new authors to binge and have a wonderful time. It's one of my favorite things to do when I find a new author, is just blow through their whole backlist. It's amazing. So thank you so much for watching. I put up new videos 3 to 4 times a week. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Check out the ways you can support me down below if you want to help me keep doing this full time, and I'll see you next time. Bye.